What's up, guys? I am back. Man, I was pretty damn sick there. I did end up having double ear infection. Both ears was horrible, but I'm back and we're ready to go. I want to show you guys some awesome stuff in the markets. I still believe we are going to witness the biggest money grab in history, which also means stock markets come crumbling down. And I know they've risen high and people are super bullish right now, but what you have to realize is when these things come down, it will erase all these profits people think they have and are not taking profits. Even in Bitcoin, if you have ridden this ride up since 15.5 and haven't taken profits yet, you need to consider it. I'm not saying that we can't go a little bit higher. What I am saying is that when this stuff comes down, you're not going to have time to come out, in my opinion. Of course, this is not financial advice, but I'm going to show you some evidence in the charts today. Make sure you stick around. We'll be looking at the longer term. Also, we're going to go into the 4-hour Bitcoin chart and look at a possible trade you could get entered in if you're not already in one and make some pretty decent gains. So definitely stick around for that. We're also going to look at XRP and our Tesla charts, long-term charts, of course, that we've been watching for years. I've warned you guys about our XRP and Tesla. So let's get into it, guys. Before we do, make sure you take 1 second out, smash that thumbs up. And if you are in the camp that doesn't believe that a crash is coming, hit 1. If you're in the camp that believes a crash is inevitable, hit 2. I'm curious to see who's watching, who's paying attention, and who's actually responding and giving their thoughts. So let's see what's going on. Another announcement. I will be doing either an Xbox or a PSP giveaway with a trade competition on Prime XBT. If you haven't started an account there, get one ready. It won't cost you anything to join the contest. My link down below for Prime XBT will get you set up, and I will announce when it begins. All right, so let's take a look at the Dow Jones 1929 here on the left, 1929 here on the right, and then where we're at right now. We've been talking about this for a long time. I thought that this could possibly be the top. Obviously, it wasn't. It's probably something around like right what we had right here, right? But we got one more push up just like here. And if you look at this from the bottom right here, from right here back in 29, that was just over 500%, and that's where we are now. Not to say we can't go up a little bit higher, but guys, when they take your money, this is how they do it. They don't do it little by little. Like what you'll see here is, if you zoomed in here, you'd see it had a little bounce. Then people were like, oh my god, we're going back up. And then you had a big drop, everybody got super scared, and then you got a rally, bear market rally, just like we've had in Bitcoin, right? Everybody gets complacent again, thinking everything's gonna be all right. It's going back, and then it comes down. And when this takes your money, I've been around the markets for a while, right? What happens is people get that confidence and they end up not selling anything all the way down. Every little bounce, they think that's it, it's going back up. I'm talking about a huge crash, guys, and I really believe this is coming. Look around the world. They cannot keep this up. They cannot keep this facade up. What they are doing is getting people to pump their money into the markets so they can take it. If you don't know who they are the people that are writing the news, are doing all that. They're telling you what's going on in the markets. They're not really telling you what's going on. They're telling you what you want to hear. And they're telling you what to do with your money so they can take it. In my opinion, I believe this is what's coming. This is a 100-year cycle. 100 years is up, guys. Let's take a look at, one more thing. So the top here, if this is the top, and it could go on into this month a little bit further and go a little bit higher, but February, right? The top here. If we look back here, the last time it had this top before this pullback, that was in, where was it? I want to say this is a weekly chart. So it was right at the end of January. If you look at when Bitcoin topped right here on the weekly, right there, it was in November. So about 2.5 months, somewhere in there, after Bitcoin topped, which I believe Bitcoin's bear market rally has topped right here, right? So another 2.5, and that was, when was that? January? Yeah, so that top was in January, beginning of January. So that would leave into March for the Dow. And it doesn't have to be exact. You're never going to get the timing on any market exact. But what you can do is look at the structure and see what's going on. We had talked about this for years now. I told you a false bottom would happen, then we would get a huge bear market rally. Went a little bit higher than I expected, but I'm going to show you where it hit, what we were looking at, and how it ended up hitting, right? So this is the golden pocket zone where we hit here. Let's look at the monthly 5-wave structure completed. We're looking for our C wave down now. I do believe that will be the true bottom, the new low. And we'll talk about where that's going to be also, in my opinion. So let's take a look at the RSI right here on the monthly, right? If you draw a trend line up at the top, make a channel down at this bottom, we never hit that bottom yet, right? We should hit that right around in here sometime. Again, I'm not going to tell you exact time. Really doesn't matter if this happens. There's a lot of money to be made, and not just from trading. Of course, you can make money trading up, down, all over the place in smaller time frames on the way. But the big buy-in area is where it's just going to go up from there and probably never reach these lows again, which again, I believe are going to be much lower. I've not changed my targets, still between 3,500 and 9,700. But if you look here, you see this trend line on the top of these candles. We had this big wick, obviously. Look at this. This does look like a reversal candle, reversal doji right here. Last week's candle. We'll see how this ends up. Like I said, this could still go up, wake up a little bit before coming down. But nevertheless, you have hidden bearish divergence here, which is lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the RSI. That in a downtrend, this is still a weekly downtrend. We have not broken this up here, and it has been 2 years. So over 2 years, still in a downtrend on the weekly, guys. A lot of people won't tell you that, but that's a fact. So let's take a look at, again, there's that weekly candle, reversal doji, in my opinion. And you can see that hidden bearish divergence right here, right? If you look at the trend line down here, I still believe we're going to come down. And I think in the best case is going to be around 9,700. But I still think it's possible we hit 3,500. And again, we're going to go over all this. So here is 2017 bull run, bear market rally, 0.65, 0.618. We had this here way before this happened, and look what happened. We hit it. And not to say we can't get up and tag that again, right? But nevertheless, unless we get above that 50,300 and actually open and close a few dailies above that, chances are we're coming back down. And people say, well, that would only get us to right here, which would be around 1920, right? And then a bounce. It's not that it plays out exact. Remember, it's about structure. Look at here. You made a high and then a lower high. Here you made a high, then a higher high, right? So there's no reason to say that this won't be a lower low than over here. It doesn't have to play exact, right? It's a structure, a market structure. You get your bubble. You get your bubble pop. You get your bear market rally. You get your true bottom after that. Now, 4-hour chart. As you guys know, Prime XBT is my preferred exchange. They do support the channel. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. The link's down below. You can get up to a $7,000 bonus by using my link. Also getting signed up for the free trading contest. And 25% off of your trading fees. So let's look at the 4-hour here. If you guys know, this was our target. We were looking for the top here, 49.4. Didn't quite make it, but we were just judging by a trend line, right? We hit the trend line before I thought we would. So anyways, nevertheless, got that. Last video, last Monday, we talked about getting a short in right here. If you did short that, you're about break even still, right? We are in a triangle formation here. What are the targets? We're going to zoom in and look at that. So just for a recent trade, right? So if we do break up to the upside, you take a measured move of this triangle at the widest point right here, right? You bring it up to, if it breaks, now it has to break right here at 43.5. If it breaks that, maybe a good place to enter along. I would start taking profits around this trend line, though, which is going to be around the 44.3 range. If it does get above that and hold support, then our target for that breakout is 45.635. But remember, I'm going to show you a lot of times when you have fake outs to the upside, it'll break this high or just touch this high, which is at that 44,000 range, and then it'll come back down and swoop through here fast. Could go vice versa also. You know, it could do quite the opposite, come down, do a fake breakout, not break this low, come back up, and then shoot up to the target. So this is a good trading range. If you can catch this trade and tend to it, make sure you use stop losses. So if it breaks down below here, right, you want to put your stops. If you want to play real conservative, very low leverage or no leverage at all, once it breaks here, you put your stops above the triangle, right? And vice versa. Once it breaks, if it breaks the top, you put your stops down below the triangle, right? For the breakout. Another thing I want to talk about, I do believe, I showed you guys a count of this being 1, 2, 3. We could go higher for that 2, right? If this is a 1, 2. Let me zoom out so I can show you what I'm talking about. So on the 5-wave structure, right, this would be 1. And if we go higher, 2, and then you would measure down, you know, I'll go into tomorrow's video. We'll dive into that a little bit better, so you can be aware of where we're headed. Once we get our exact count here, we'll know where we're headed. I can give you the 5-wave structure to the downside, just like we did in 21 with that whole move down, perfectly. Almost every wave after we found our 2-wave, I hit 3, 4, and 5 almost perfectly. And I think we could do that again here, and that's where the money's made, guys. So anyways, if we do break up here, let's take a Fibonacci retracement here. Our retracement level could go as high as 46.8, right? Our 0.618 is right around 45,000. So if, you know, that wave 2, if it does get up to this range, then we look for a big wave 3 down. Like I said, once we figure if this low breaks here, we've already hit our wave 2 and we are starting wave 3, and I will be able to give you pretty accurate targets for where that's headed, guys. There's some big money to be made here coming soon in trading. And I like the 4-hour chart for trading. It's just the cleanest, best time frame in my opinion to trade. So if it does break to the downside, then what's that target? If it does break down, it would have to break below this 43 or 42,388 ish, depending on what exchange you're playing on. But as you can see, that target gets you to about 40,300. And then we have this next trend line down here. If this breaks this bottom trend line, then we have our target from this channel right here that we broke, that we were talking about last Monday, about 34,191, somewhere in that range. Again, there's going to be bounces, guys. And then we have a target of 26.7, which is just looking at this whole thing as a rising broadening wedge if it was to break here. So something to be cautious of. But remember, keep an eye on this 4-hour triangle right here. This is going to be huge. We're getting close to a breakout, either the upside or downside. Let's see if we get rejected on the top again, or don't even make it to the top, come back down, test the bottom, break the bottom, down, right? Watch this triangle. If you don't have it drawn in, do it. Now, let's take a look at XRP. As you guys know, this white trend line here, never been able to open and close weeklies above it, right? I've talked about this for a long time. Way back here, I warned you. That happened again. My targets for XRP are still, best case, around 26 cents, 4 to 5 cents bottom. Still what I'm looking for here, guys. Just look at the chart. I don't care what anyone comes up with, what kind of news they make up, what kind of hype they throw at you. This is just such an obvious chart that it's unbelievable that the XRP army is still in belief that they're going to take over the world and whatever. Look at the chart, man. That's all I got to say about that. Tesla broke our channel right here, right? That's not good. They can't get back inside. As you guys know, way back here, before we broke here, I warned you, if we broke here, these were my bounce targets, 151, 106, and 50, right? We bounced off the 106, got our rally up to retest, just like I was explaining. Again, all this stuff I'm explaining that you're thinking is crazy, when it happens, then you're like, oh, wow. So just pay attention. Not saying it's going to happen, but, man, these charts are pretty clean and pretty easy to read in the long term, right? But we nailed our target for the retest, right? Came back down. Now we've broken this. What's the target of that? The target of this break is 42.34. And as I've been saying for a long time, I am a buyer between 40 and 50 bucks for Tesla long term. Been saying that for 2 years. I'm sticking to it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure, remember, if you're still in the up only, hit 1. If you're in this thing's going to end bad, hit 2. Curious to see what you got to say. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Love you guys. Have an awesome day. I will see you tomorrow. I'm back, baby.